Be careful what you wish for. Democrats spent months whining for President Trump to release him. Well, here they are, making their lives a living nightmare for weeks. We've seen resignation after resignation by top executives with swampy ties to Epstein, and another one bites the dust. Former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers is expected to resign from Harvard for the same reason, but the Clintons remain in the hot seat. Not only are they scheduled to testify this week before the House Oversight Committee, but there are calls for the Bill and Hillary Clinton National Airport located in Little Rock, Arkansas, to be renamed amid their connections to Epstein as well. The petition online is receiving nearly 12,000 signatures so far. Okay, Curtis, are you going to go sign this change.org petition to rename the Little Rock Airport?
Yes, and I think this is a good time to remind people that this whole push to rename Dulles after Donald Trump is a bad idea, because those of us that sometimes have to fly out of Dulles and the people movers and all of those things, it's just not great.
But the Trump administration is actually trying to. There's this guy named Trent Morris, who is a Trump appointee on the D.C. Airport Authority Board. He's trying to get rid of the people movers, so you can have less complaints about.
But hold on a minute. But doesn't it make sense to change the name of the airport? I mean, don't they live up in Westchester County in snooty New York? Why do they care what the airport name is? They're not there unless they fly their private jet in there.
Right.
You know.
Well,
somebody else's private jet. Jeffrey Epstein's private jet.
Jeffrey Epstein's.
So who's using it now?
That's right.
Well, that's one of the things. So this was launched by a woman who's a sexual abuse survivor, and she's from Arkansas. She says that public flight logs show Bill Clinton flew on Epstein's private jet at least 26 times, trips from 2002 to 2003. And
remember, that was years before he was convicted of the underage.
And nobody knew anything about it, which is why Bill was still there.
Right.
But the fact is that
laying back in the hot tub.
This woman is pushing for the change. You mentioned Dulles, but isn't it true? I mean, Tim, aren't they also looking at Palm Beach renaming it for Trump? I wonder if there's a push to do this with any other names that have been tied. We've seen resignations, but what about renaming buildings, that sort of thing?
Oh, I think that's always open, and that's kind of the joke in Congress is hey, they renamed a couple post offices today after somebody, and so look, if you want to look like you're busy, that's fine. But my advice is just do something really good to make a groundswell if people want to name something after you.
And then
but also remember that there's a number of Ohio State University buildings and facilities that are named after Les Wexner, who's this big philanthropist in Ohio, but was Epstein's, he was a client for Epstein and was kind of his main, go-to for lots of money that Wexner actually said, oh, Epstein stole lots of money from me.
Well, and we also will hear, though, from the Clintons. I guess the House Oversight Committee has their depositions. I think Hillary Clinton is scheduled for Thursday, and then Bill Clinton for Friday. Chris, do you think they're going to ask them if they care about the airport name change?
It probably won't come up. But is that the same airport where they were smuggling cocaine through with the CIA out of Central? Was that Mina and is now? Because that'd be appropriate in some way.
No idea. But one of the things I was thinking about, though, with Daniel, you might know the answer to this question. When are we going to get to see the videos of these depositions? Because my understanding is it's going to be kind of like how the Les Wexner one went, right? Where it was recorded. It's not going to be live. I think the Clintons
they have to process the video and find the best. I think probably Bill Clinton is hoping that his lawyer, who is next to him, does not curse him out on TV like that, like what happened with Wexner. Remember?
Oh, I know the little whisper.
Oh, there it is.
That's not good. Yeah.
That was not.
They're in the hot tub, baby.
That's right, but I would say that was not very good legal training. You're supposed to prep your client for those kinds of things, and telling them in their ear that you're going to effing kill them is not really the way to go about it.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, we'll notice a knife off screen from Hillary Clinton if Bill says anything wrong.
Yeah, well, and Curtis, do you think we're actually going to get answers, or do you think they'll go ahead and plead the fifth? Or does she just say, hey, I'm not in any photos, ask my husband?
Yeah, I've never met him. I think we're going to get the same sort of Clinton sliminess and dodginess that we've been expecting for at least a lifetime at this point.
I just have one thing to say. What difference does it make?
Right, difference at this point does it make. I mean, there's over 1,400 minutes that I've covered on the broadcast networks. I don't think we're going to be adding a lot to that total based on what the Clintons say.
Yeah, well, and it will also be interesting to see what kind of precedent this sets, because I'm anticipating once Democrats take control and there's a former President Trump, we'll have to see his deposition and all that sort of thing. Yep.
Information. Truth is freedom. is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.